दर्शकवृन्दहरू नमस्कार। नेपाल कोरोना भाइरस कोभिड-19 को महामारीका कारणले लकडाउन भएको आज 54औं दिन बितिसकेको छ। यस सन्दर्भमा नेपालमा ज्याला मजदुरी गरेर खाने, सडक पेटीमा जीवन बिताउने थुप्रै व्यक्तिहरू खान नपाएर भोकभोकै बस्नु परेको अवस्था छ भने सरकारले पनि यस सम्बन्धी उपयुक्त राहतका कार्यक्रमहरू ल्याउन सकिरहेको छैन र ल्याएका कार्यक्रमहरू पनि प्रभावकारी भएको छैन। र यति बेला हामीसँग एकजना स्पेशल गेस्ट हुनुहुन्छ, अमेरिकन गेस्ट हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँले नेपालमा विगत 54 दिनदेखि नै निरन्तर खाना खुवाउनको लागि आफू र आफ्नो संस्थाको तर्फबाट व्यक्तिगत रूपमा सहयोग गर्नु भएको छ र नेपालमा यो पालि लकडाउनले गर्दा पनि लामो समय फस्नु भएको छ। जैक लोवस जी हाम्रो साथमा हुनुहुन्छ, स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु उहाँलाई। वेलकम टु आवर शो मिस्टर जैक।
Namaste.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. All things considered, okay.
All things considered, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you are trapped due to lockdown in
Yes.
Nepal.
Yeah.
How you been liking it?
It's actually it's been tough, but I can't really complain because there's many more people that have it much more difficult than I do.
Yeah.
The tough in the sense that everything, obviously, like for everyone, is now put on hold. We also have the uncertainty, but all things considered, doing much better than most. So. Yeah.
Okay. We heard that you've been helping out the people in the streets, who are hungry and who don't have any option to, feed themselves.
Yes.
That you and your organization are helping them.
Correct.
How is it being possible?
Well, basically, what we are a vegan cultural exchange tour company. So we bring 2 to 3 trips here a year that is for vegans, and we do cultural exchange. Because of that, we also are in contact with and active with other local animal rights and vegan activists. So once we got our last group out and the last planes left and everything went into lockdown here, then we didn't want to just sit back. If we can help, we have a saying that if you can help, you must help. I mean, it's our mantra. So we could help, and so we contacted our other vegan and animal rights activists in the valley, and we all said, hey, what can we do?
So you guys are uniting with the vegan group here.
Correct.
In Kathmandu.
Yes.
Like Radhe Khanka.
Correct.
And other people.
Yes.
So have you been to the streets who are like really in bad situation, who are hungry? Have you been observing them closely?
We did, both for people as well as for animals. The lockdown obviously has affected animals as well. The street dogs that were used to getting fed by the restaurants and people on the move and everything that would put out food. Obviously, all those restaurants and shops are shuttered up. People don't have the resources that they had even for having extra food to feed the street dogs. So for both animals as well as people. And then obviously we know as soon as the lockdown happened, there was a lot of people that were affected. They were stranded. They couldn't get back to their village. There were laborers not only within Nepal, but also couldn't get back to India, and they needed food as well. So when we got on the phone, we all talked and said, hey, what can we do? Let's do something. We need to do something because we can all do something here. So within basically 24 hours, the team was fantastic. They all got together, and we had over 150 meals going out on the street for people. And we also had I think it was about food going out for about 250, 300 dogs, about 250 monkeys, yes, as well as cows every day. Yeah, so
that sounds nice.
Yeah, everybody has been. That's what veganism is to us: is coming together to help all living beings. So they did a great job.
What I have observed is, at least people, they can ask with other people. They can complain or they can, ask for help.
True.
But animals on the street, like dogs and monkeys and even some cows who are on the street, they can't ask for food, right?
They can't. No.
We have to feed them.
Yes, very much so.
So you guys been helping them.
Exactly. You hit it right on the nail. That's exactly it. They can't ask. They don't understand when the shutters are going down and the restaurants are no longer, people are not coming out and helping them with food, or even people that are coming regularly to their business and opening up, helping. All of a sudden, the food's not there. So, but the team has done a great job delivering it out to them.
So how it became economically, is anybody else is helping you?
Everybody has joined together to get as much resources as they can. Obviously, we're all in a difficult situation, ourselves included. We're in the travel business, one of the industries that is going to be severely hit by lockdown. But even with that said, whatever we have been able to bring together we have brought together, and everybody has, to come together and use all the resources we can to provide meals. It's called kind of the law of humanity. If somebody is hungry, you should give them food. If an animal is hungry, you should also give them food, and that's what we like to follow.
Sure. There are other people who are working same like you guys here in this situation, in the lockdown period. Have you been like coordinating with them as well, besides the vegan cultural group?
Exactly, we have. As much as possible, all the team is trying to be in contact through, thankfully, social media, where other people are feeding the dogs, so then we don't overlap there, where people are also providing food for people, so we don't overlap there. So this way we can try to get everybody that wants to help is trying to get all the resources out, so everybody, and both people and animals can get food to get through this very difficult time. So it's been nice when everybody has been coordinating together and coming together, and I would say rallying together during these difficult times, which is what's needed. We can't just rely on, obviously the governments only have so many resources, certain NGOs, INGOs only have so much resources. Everybody's got to pitch in. If you can help your neighbor or you can help the street dog in front, that's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said you've been to the streets and you know have seen everything closely. Yeah. So what was the feedback given by the people from the street?
Everybody seems so grateful to be able to have food. There's obviously the look in the eyes is also that a lot of people that aren't used to taking a handout for food. And so that's a difficult situation, in which we obviously all understand that would be difficult. Somebody usually doesn't take food as a handout; they work for themselves, they do it. But at the same time, everybody has really been grateful and thankful, and I would say that it's not. Sometimes people ask, "Oh, how do you feel? Do you feel good?" No, it's not a matter of feeling good. It's a matter of helping because we can, and that's
the humanity. Right?
That's the humanity, and that's what we all need to do. So,
okay. Is this your first time visiting Nepal?
It is not. No, I've been coming to Nepal all the way back since the early '90s. Before I came, when I used to be based out of India, in South India, and now I come back about 6 weeks every year for the programs that we have here, the cultural program exchange group programs that we have here. Our company, I'm always on the move. I live out of a suitcase, so we do about 27 group tourist cultural exchange programs in 8 different countries every year. So 6 weeks only here. I'd love to stay here more. So,
so what are the major places you visited here in Nepal?
Oh my gosh, with our groups, when we're here, we are in, of course, we start in Kathmandu. From Kathmandu, we go to Baglung Bazaar, which is lovely. I love Baglung. And then we go up to a village called Bakunde, which is like right on the top of the hill. Bakunde on Baglung Bazaar.
Oh,
yeah. And then we spend time out there. We do community-based programs out there, community-based tourism, sustainable tourism out there. And then after, we also go to Bandipur, of course. We go to Chitwan. We deal with some animal rights activists there on what's the conservation efforts, how they're going, where they're going, what direction, and of course, if we can help in any way possible. And then we go to Lumbini. And then back.
Nice place.
So, yes, beautiful place.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the major changes you've found? Back in the 90s and now.
Oh my gosh,
there are lots of changes.
Huge changes. I didn't even when I came back more recently. There was a gap for almost maybe 12 years or 15 years where I didn't come back to Nepal because we were busy on projects in Indonesia and in India and also in Laos. So I didn't just logistically, time-wise, didn't be able to. And then I came back and I almost didn't even recognize the valley. It has changed so much since the 90s.
Less greener and then more houses, right?
Concrete. lots of concrete. Still a beautiful city, and what makes it beautiful to me is the people. The people are wonderful here.
Thank you.
So, yes.
But you can find concrete building in the United States, right?
Yes, we can actually. Yeah, that's true. Good point.
I don't know where this culture been, adapted, like by our government or by our people.
Yeah.
Maybe from India, right?
It could be, yes. It is starting to look similar to some Indian cities, definitely. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And now, what's your for the future plan?
Well, we were supposed to, right before lockdown, go to Bhutan. We have a program that we're going to start, a community-based tourism, cultural exchange program that we were going to do there. So technically, that's where I hope to go as soon as the lockdown is over, is to get to Bhutan and finish the work that we are supposed to be doing there.
What's the major objective of your program, cultural exchange?
Our major objective is bridging cultural gaps between different communities, bringing people together with a common goal of hopefully protecting the planet. As vegans, it's not about so much what we eat, but how we think and how we live. And all of us have elements, even if you're not vegan by diet, everybody has elements of what the vegan philosophy should be, and that's to protect the environment, protect living beings. And if we can bring everybody together, bridge those cultural gaps, and focus on our common ground, then maybe we all stand a chance.
You think like people from Kathmandu or people from Nepal back in 90s and now in 2020, their mind, their culture has been changed a lot?
That's a tough question. I think it has, both for the positive and negative, but I think that's how it is everywhere in the world.
Everywhere.
I think we have.
Could be positive too.
There is a positive. There is a negative there, but there is also the positive.
But people are more democratic. They are more. They are more free.
Yes.
They know about the world.
Yes.
They eat whatever they want.
Yes.
They dress
whatever they want. Yes, true. And I've seen some. There's been some great positive changes that happen in Nepal. And I can just say from a personal thing, when we with all our groups when we're here, we have a vegan meetup. So we have a dinner we host, and anybody that's interested in veganism, vegetarianism, or just other living beings and kind of compassionate lifestyle, we all come together. And the hall fills up. There's standing room only, which is great because then you hear all these compassionate voices. And we have people from other countries. Sometimes, like on our last meetup, we had people from 5 different countries or 6 different countries. And everybody has the same voice, which is great. Different languages, different upbringings, but the same voice and the same concerns. And so that is very refreshing, because then you start seeing those cultural gaps shrink, and then that means that we come together. And we need to come together, as we're seeing right now. What happens in one part of the world, you're not going to be immune to it from it on the opposite side of the world. And on this small planet with 8 billion people, we really do all need to come together and start working together for the betterment of the planet. And our next big issue, obviously, after this, there's going to be COVID-20, there'll be COVID-21, COVID-23, there's climate change. This is all going to take people working together, not being isolationists and building walls and just looking after your own.
Like right now, right now, people all around the world are working together to fight against COVID-19. Right?
Yes, and this will be the future. It is already, even from climate change, though a lot of people, unfortunately, including my president, likes to deny it. But we do need to come together, and these are very real issues that we're going to have to deal with. And I think even COVID-19 is showing that. So.
Okay. What's the purpose of being vegan?
Okay.
What's the real? Like what are the benefits being a vegan? Okay,
it's a great question, and there's many answers, and many people do it for one reason, and then when they do it for one reason, they find out about, and then they end up doing it for all the reasons. The reason I became vegan was because I love animals. It's an ethical question, and if you love something, you can't have it killed so you can eat it. It makes no sense. So compassion for all living beings, the first precept in Buddhism. So I'm not a Buddhist, but it is the first precept, and it's not only that. It's in all religions actually, and beyond religion. So one reason is for ethical reasons, not to kill another animal so we can eat. We don't need to anymore. There's a debate whether we ever needed to, but nowadays for sure we don't need to. The second reason is environmental reasons. The amount of environmental damage that's caused because of factory farming and because of the meat industry and the dairy industry, for that matter, is huge. I mean, and with climate change happening the way it is, any steps we can do, and this is a big step, is going to hopefully slow it down or make a long-term permanent difference. So then we have the environmental reason. And then, of course, there's the health reason. There's many debates on either side, but if you do look at a lot of the facts, the consistent line is it is healthier, especially nowadays, to eat a plant-based diet because of how the animals are kept, because of also what the medicine, chemicals, everything else that's involved, hormones, antibiotics that are put into what people are eating. So for a health reason as well. And then we could even cross the line, but I won't, and say even because of what the animal industry is, including wet markets and live areas, how many diseases do come from that, which then we all end up dealing with. SARS, MERS, even right now on the front burner of, among other theories, is even COVID, are based on people's exploitation of animals for their diet or other reasons. So there's many reasons to do it, but basically it just comes down, I mean, for me, it comes down from compassion for all living beings, and we need to do that. And then we also have a whole other thing. We have 8 billion people almost now on this planet, and we're going to need food resources, and it takes a lot less to produce a plant-based diet than it does for an animal, a meat-based diet. Though people try to debate that, but just again, look at the statistics, it's all there. So we need to make sure that people don't go hungry. One of the biggest ways we also can do that is going to a plant-based diet.
A true vegan don't eat even dairy products?
That is correct, we don't, because there's many reasons, but dairy leads to the killing of animals. What happens, a cow can only give milk if it has a calf. What happens to that calf? Especially if it's a male calf. Yeah. That's why India becomes one of the largest bovine, beef, and buffalo exporters in the world. They're not exporting that so those cows and buffalo can go live in nice places. They're exporting them for slaughter. Yeah. And the reason why they are is, what do they need? What does India consume? It's not just India, it's all over the world. I bring India just because it's south of the border here. They produce all these calves because of what? The consumption of dairy. So we can't, it's not anymore where you just have the cow or the buffalo out in the field and you have the calf and then that calf is going to live in the field. Those days are no longer there. When you're providing dairy for billions of people, there's a lot of death that follows it. And that is on a massive scale everywhere in the world, America included. I only bring up India too on this because some people say, oh, that's just like Cowspiracy and stuff. That's just, which is a movie, that's just something that's happening, those factory farms, or this kind of death that follows dairy in America or in Europe. No, look at India. Again, usually in the top 1 to 3 largest exporters of bovines in the world every year, and those cows or calves are all going for slaughter. So.
Yeah. Okay, people from Nepal in 90s,
yeah.
Maybe they were eating less meat.
Yes.
Than now in 2020s,
True.
right?
True. Yes, that is.
There were less, farmed, chicken.
Yeah.
And then
yes.
other stuff. But
True.
Now you have like artificial chicken.
I know, and that's one of the changes you're seeing. This is a negative change, not a positive change, but one of the things, even when you're driving across Nepal, you'll see these big, huge sheds with all these chickens stuffed in there. So it's kind of the factory farming idea, just to keep up with the consumption of chicken. But like you said as well.
It might be rare back in 1990s, right?
Very rare. Very rare. When we were driving around now, I see them everywhere, especially when you're down in the Terai, but everywhere. But down in the Terai, everywhere.
A few shops around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the negative parts of obviously increased income, as disposable income, as a rising middle class, it's just proven a larger consumption of meat, as well as a larger consumption of oil. Like cooking oils, fats, larger consumption of fats in general. But a larger consumption of meat is a big issue, and that's happening. And a lot of it, if people are aware of what is coming along with that, then a lot of people would either have less back like people used to, or they would turn to a vegan or vegetarian diet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it hard to make people understand, explain them what are the to be a vegan? Is it hard to approach them?
It is, and it is, and it isn't. It's weird. Sometimes, especially among a lot of youth, they're open to it because they're, like you said, they have more access to information now. Yeah. So there's more of that freedom where you can freedom to information. So you get access on your phone. You get access on your computer, and they're finding out statistics and information, and like, wait, oh, this isn't good for me, like what I was told, or the propaganda commercials I see, or they can question things, and then they can find it, or hey, this is damaging, or there is suffering accompanied by this. So because of that, a lot of youth actually are quite open to at the very least, having a Meatless Monday. They say the Meatless Monday program, and also looking at what the repercussions is behind having a meat or dairy-based diet. Definitely. So.
Okay, being a vegan is not a religious thing.
It's not.
It's just a regular thing.
It is.
I mean, you can explain it as a living habit or a daily habit.
Yes, it is. It's a lifestyle choice. It has nothing to do with religion. Nothing to do with religion. But I'm very glad you brought that up, because a lot of people, even in Indonesia, when I first used to go to Indonesia, and I would say I was a vegan, they'd say, "Oh, you're a Buddhist." And then ironically, when I go to Sri Lanka and I would say I'm a vegan, they say, "Oh, you're a Hindu," because the Buddhist population, the majority Buddhist population in Sri Lanka, they eat meat. Yeah. And the ones that are vegetarians are usually from the Hindus. So it's interesting that in all these different places, that would be the perception. It's always was attached with religion. However, what I've seen now, which is great, is now, before my friends, even when I was in Indonesia, they wouldn't go to a vegetarian restaurant or a vegan restaurant with me because they thought the food wouldn't be halal. Now they go to it knowing that, because of the awareness that it's not a religious attached thing. So of course the vegan food would be halal. And the same with everywhere. So now there's that association that, okay, it's becoming more and more, oh, you do it for the health, you do it for the environment, or you do it because you like animals. None of the doctrine, or even when I became a vegan, has anything to do with religion. With religion. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I would like to thank you from all our people, representing all our people, for whatever you've been doing this in such a moment, due to COVID-19. I'd like to thank you from my deep of my heart.
I want to thank you, and I want to thank everybody here. I've been in lockdown, but I haven't felt it as much as a lot of people, because everybody has been so kind to me. I mean, everybody has been so kind, and people that have known that I'm here, they make sure I'm not feeling alone, and for meals, having meals together, stuff, anything possible, or just getting on the phone. And people here, the true essence of Nepali hospitality. So I thank you.
Okay, namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Voices Foundation. You are distributing your food. आप यहीं के हैं बाबा जी? कहाँ के? भारत?